Hello and welcome to Maggie, another Maggie moment here in the Tweed Valley. What do you like regulating your emotions as an adult? Do you have days when you don't do it very well? Great, it's a reality. Do you know what it's like when you want to melt down because a person's cut you off or somebody's been rude to you or you've seen something ridiculous, on TV? That's to do with self-regulation, and it is a really big thing for us to get a concept of when we're talking about children. Dr. Stuart Shanker he's got a fabulous hour-long video that I recommend you watch on YouTube. And he explores the states of arousal that we actually have as adults and as children. And he talks about it as being the number 4 state of arousal is calm, focused and alert. And when we are in that state, we learn well and we also behave well. Now, as a presenter, there are times that I have to move people around, get them to stand up, have a chat to someone, because I've noticed that the states of arousal have dropped, especially after lunch where they've had a chocolate dessert. So states of arousal mean that you either have, and let's just talk about children, if we can get them into that state of number 4, they'll behave well, they'll play well, and they'll learn well. So if they get tired and exhausted, or they've been sitting too long and they need to move, the energy either builds up, and it floods them, or it just sucks away and it actually makes them really drowsy. Well, I tend to find rooster children are the ones who get big energy, and and a lot of our boys and our Indigenous children do that, and our sensitive children often lose energy. They actually need big people to help them move their energy. And if you watch any early years centre, they'll move the activities so they can completely keep the children's energy up. Now, there are some things that help our children build self-regulation and some things that are really bad for self-regulation. And in fact, if you look at Stuart Shanker's article and his video, he says that really a child's capacity to manage their energy when they turn up at school is probably the biggest indicator of how successful they're going to be at school, because they're able to sit there when all of a sudden they're bored, taking a few breaths, managing their energy. The one who can't regulate will probably punch the kid next door or go to sleep. So once again, our ability can be built early on. Okay, so let's look at the things that help with regulation and the things that don't. I'm going to say this is not Einstein material. Children need lots of music. They need lots of loving connections with big grown-ups. They need lots of movement. They need lots of real play in the outside world, because that helps build this sense of calmness. And they need basically to be given food that allows them to sustain their energy instead of going crashing up and crashing down. So a high sugar breakfast will actually whack out mid-morning and they'll have a massive crash in their energy systems. And what other things make it tricky for our kids to build self-regulation is too much screen time. TV, iPad, tablet, you name it, too much of that actually influences and actually makes them way more anxious and way poorer at managing energy. So it's those things: poor diet, poor sleep, and nobody who cares for me creates a child whose nervous system is overloaded. So they're going to tip over much more into tantrums, poor behaviour, outbursts, not learn very well, and be a bit crabby and revolting around your house. So remember, in those early years, we're building other things that can't be tested by testing. And one of them is regulation. So allow yourself to recognise this is incredibly important. And that's why we need to monitor how much time our kids are spent on things that do the opposite to letting them know how to manage their own energy in their tank. So I hope that gives you a few clues on how to build regulation and why it's important. Taking 3 deep breaths is also a really good way to help with it. Until next time, that's all for now.